As we all know, this May was the last commencement for the College of St. Rose. And my dear friend was chosen by the students to be the commencement speaker. An unbelievable honor, but in a way not a surprise, because she's been the spiritual director there, director of that office of spiritual life that the college was so well known for 30 years. And she had been preparing for this speech for weeks. I so wanted to be there in the Times Union Arena to support her, but I couldn't. But I was watching on the live stream, and you could just feel how electric the energy was in that place. And I watched her come up. I saw her in the procession in her cap and gown. She looked great. I felt so proud. And she got up there, and then the time came for her to give the commencement address. And she came up to the podium just like this, and she looked out at thousands of people and said, "I didn't realize till I was halfway up the aisle in the procession that I forgot my glasses." Oh, I thought, no. Has that ever happened to you? Where right when you're in the middle of something so important, you realize, wait a minute, where's my passport? Wait a minute, I don't have what I need. And those moments are part of the human journey. And Jesus says, I actually want it to be that way. I want you to go out there without everything you think you need. I want you to go out there with no glasses, with no food, no tote bag, no extra clothes, nothing. Why would he tell us to do that? What point could that possibly have? You may remember me talking 2 weeks ago about the fact that I was going up to be a chaperone at what we call Camp Breakaway. It's the best thing we do for Catholic youth in the year. All the middle schoolers and high schoolers in the diocese are invited to go, and there were 95 of them this year spending a week on an Adirondack lake at this beautiful camp. Some of you maybe remember when it was called Marion Lodge back in the day, but it's called the Pyramid Life Center now, Exit 28, and it's an amazing place. I have to admit that by the time Sunday afternoon comes around, I usually am out of brain cells. And so maybe I should not be surprised that I wasn't really thinking fully when I was packing to go. I thought I had everything I needed, brought a change of clothes, brought my bug spray, brought a flashlight. Okay, I'm set. But when I got there, I asked where they wanted me to spend the night, because I was doing a teaching mass on Sunday evening, and then I was doing a morning program on Monday. So they had assigned me somewhere to stay. And they told me, you're going to be staying at Mouse House. I'll let you guess why they call it that. It's this little cabin perched on the side of a hill. And I had been there before. I'd been in all the cabins over the years. So I don't know what I was thinking, that it was such a surprise to me when I walked up to Mouse House and I opened the screen door and I looked inside. I realized my mistake. I saw that there was an old steel frame bed with a bare mattress there, and there was a mirror on the bare studded walls, and a crucifix, and nothing else. I forgot everything. I had no pillow. I had no bedding, no sleeping bag, no sheets, nothing. I don't know what I was thinking, like I was going to a hotel. Why would I think that? I've been there so many times before. It was not lost on me that the homily I had given that weekend was, everything is going to be okay. We have to have enough faith to know that everything is going to be okay. But how are we going to know that if we're never in a situation that does not require us to figure things out? So I looked at this cabin, And I went back to my car and I got my gym bag. And I realized, well, if I take this towel and roll it up, that's kind of like a pillow. And if I put it inside these gym shorts, that's kind of like a pillowcase. And I knew that the forecast was that it was going to get cold at night. So I decided to put on everything I had with me. I layered up, put on the shorts, put on tomorrow's clothes, today's clothes, the gym clothes. And then I got on that bare mattress with my towel pillow and went off to sleep. And I'm happy to tell you that I slept probably 5 hours straight. And if I didn't have to go to the bathroom, I probably would have made it longer. But getting up to go to the bathroom caused me to realize that it was 49 degrees. So I started wandering, found the lodge, hoped to find somewhere to crash for the rest of the night. And there it was, a little twin bed in a room that was similarly appointed with bare walls and just a bed and nothing else. The next morning, I realized I'd forgotten all of my shower stuff. So I went for a swim in the lake. And that felt at least as refreshing as a shower. And I did the morning program, and everything went great. If we never give God a chance to show us that everything is going to be okay, then how are we going to know? But that's not the only reason that Jesus tells us that we should go without all of our backup plans. I grew up in a parish in Rochester that had a really robust ministry in Haiti. They had twinned with a community there a long time before, and they had done projects over the years that were amazing. They had built a hospital, they had started a school, all these amazing things. And the parishioners would several times during the year go down there to do mission trips and service projects. And one time every year, they had teenagers go, a very ambitious thing to do. And it took a lot of planning to pull it off. And some of the planning involved these meetings about packing. So they would tell the kids, all right, you're going to need to bring 3 pairs of shorts, preferably in a dark color. You need to bring 2 pairs of pants. You need to go to an outdoor store and buy mosquito netting. And they gave them the list of things. And then they told them, and make sure that your luggage is not more than 50 pounds. So they all were there, their parents taking notes. When the day came to go and they all showed up at the airport, there was everybody with their 49.5-pound big luggage, except for one kid, Matt, who came with just a backpack. The chaperones were furious. Why did you not follow our instructions? And he said, I'll be fine, I'll be fine. And it turned out he was fine. Every night he rinsed out his clothes and hung them to dry for the next day. He didn't have all the shower stuff that the other kids had, but he brought a bottle of cologne. And they looked back at the pictures from the trip, and the results were right there in front of them. Everybody on the trip was in all these pictures with all this joy. But in all of the pictures, like the day they arrived and the day they were on this project to go out to the countryside and the day they left, there was Matt right in the center of everybody with his arms around them like this. And everybody else was in the picture too, with one hand on their luggage. Matt had both of his hands free, fully free to grab everybody, while other people were half free and half weighed down. One of the reasons Jesus tells us to go with less stuff than we think we need is because we need our hands free for what matters. The Sisters of St. Joseph came to Glens Falls because of us. They came because of us in 1883. They had heard that Monsignor McDermott was opening a new school, St. Mary's Academy, and he needed sisters to teach. And so they came up by stagecoach, 6 of them in 1883 from Troy, from the Mother House. And the policy for them then was very much like the policy that they still had up until recent times. The nuns were wearing their black habits with their veil, And they were allowed 3 habits: one to wear, one for the hanger in the closet, and one in the wash. 3 habits. That's all they needed. So if you looked in one of those sisters' closets, you'd see a hanger with a habit on it, and another one on her, and another one in the hamper, and no more. Those sisters did not spend long evenings depilling their fabrics or fussing over the stuff that was in their storage container. They didn't have it. They lived very lightly. And so they never had to wonder, where is our help going to come from? They were never confused that it would come from their planning or their backup provisions. It was going to come from God. If we are willing to live light, we're going to realize where the real treasure is. So this week, we are being asked to check in with ourselves about our relationship with stuff and with backup plans. Are you someone who struggles with stockpiling? Does your pantry tell a story of somebody who feels that they have to be prepared for everything? Does your closet tell a story about you, or your second closet, or the closet in the guest room, and then the attic, and then the storage unit? Is there a chance that the material goods that we have started to run the show in a way that's not helping us? What would it look like to be a little less protected by stuff, but to follow what Jesus is saying with a little more braveness and boldness? So back to my friend Joan at the commencement. There she was, standing at a podium like this, but with thousands of people there, her voice echoing in the arena on the microphone. And in an unscripted moment, while she was trying to figure out what to do about her glasses, the president of the university took her cheaters off her own face and handed them to Joan. And they didn't fit her face perfectly, and they weren't her style necessarily, but it gave her a chance to talk about how St. Rose has always been about helping each other. It's always been about teamwork. She got to tell the story of how the Sisters of St. Joseph didn't just found our school, but that they founded St. Rose too, and that they came there with a desire to be part of a network of support that exists right up to that day. And so God is trying to tell us, it's all going to be okay. But how are we ever going to know that if we don't give God a chance to show us?